As if in dreamless sleep lies the immense body. Enter the final anonymity of the sea. In the unblinking gaze of this eye, the vast darkness of time is spanned. Though it doesn't have the benefit of true vision, the underdog does not mistake its predator for prey. There have always been giants of the sea, as fierce as any rex or raptor. Then, as now, there were other drifters, the prowling, hungry hunters, creatures unchanged since the distant past, moved toward the modern ocean. These multicellular organisms begin to develop complex shapes and structures. They begin to dominate the shallow seas, sedentary and unchanged. They flourish only in warm, shallow seas, and only at depths that light can reach. In shallow water, which is often turbulent, the animal may be squat. But at depths where their disturbance is greatly reduced, the animal may take on a branching form. From their common skeleton, each extends a fringe of tentacles that's equipped with stinging cells to paralyze prey. They're poised to snatch the animal plankton that swims or drifts within reach. Despite a willowy appearance, each species has lightweight strength. When ready to feed, it picks a position that's swept by suitable currents. Sometimes, it mounts another life form for better access to the prey streaming by. This, too, is an animal, a basket star. It feeds by unfurling its tangle of branching arms to snatch small organisms riding the current. The basket star's arms are dotted with feet used for breathing and gathering food. Half blind, it spends most of its life grubbing along the bottom, sucking up food with a mouth organ that can extend more than a foot. The tube feet around the orange sea cucumber's mouth function as feeding tentacles. Because it consumes sediment, this scavenger uses the feet in its mouth to mop up bits from the sea floor. The drive to survive doesn't diminish with size, nor does it depend on complexity. Only the means differ. The scallop shell is rimmed with fine tentacles and hundreds of unblinking eyes to detect the sudden shift in light. Its warning system is often triggered by the blind but accurate advance of a hungry sea star. The star sees with chemical receptors. The scallop flees by means of jet propulsion. To begin life as a sightless bottom dweller, here they can remain. Then they undergo a metamorphosis into the adult stage, where they develop eyes, a mouth, and a digestive tract. Their mouths are specialized with multiple rows of sharp teeth designed for scraping away flesh. Voracious predators, they leave their homes and head for the open sea, where they seek out and attach themselves with their rasp-like suction mouths. Most species drain their host of its bodily fluids. One member of the family devours huge masses of flesh. After feeding for 2 years, they head back to fresh water to to undergo a second metamorphosis. Losing their digestive tract, they become breeders, reproduce, and die.
Patterned like the pebbles that surround it, a harlequin shrimp. Its cryptic design gives the predator an added measure of protection while it scours the bottom for food. But locating a meal is sometimes less challenging than consuming it, especially a leather star. The harlequin cannot easily penetrate the limestone skeleton. If the shrimp is to eat, its victim must be flipped. Instinctively, the simple life form struggles with the tip of an arm. This is precisely the best position for leverage. The vulnerable underside, now accessible.
Whether they were clustered in bouquets or anchored all alone, the deadly flowers of the sea were early bloomers among the predators. Virtually sightless and essentially immobile, they continue to hold their own along the rocky shores and sandy floors of all the oceans. The well-being of a colony relies on these residents. Though intricate and ornate, this habitat is also highly compact, ideal for swarms of dainty swimmers who must scurry towards a meal or dart away from danger. This enables them to duck inside a tight crevice when they're dodging hungry jaws or choosing a safe place to sleep. Unique to the spiny-skinned animals, they play various roles. From a fixed position, the delicate limbs of a barnacle must reach out and snare passing prey. Before cementing itself to a spot, the barnacle larva monitors several sites, checking the surface shape and texture, the light direction, the force of the current, and the prospects of reproduction. An abalone is no less committed to producing offspring. The drive is equal among all species, only strategies differ. Unlike most barnacles, which are hermaphrodites, abalone have separate sexes. The female releases a blizzard of eggs before they've been fertilized. She ejects them from holes used for breathing. Enormous numbers are expelled to ensure that some succeed. Not far from the unfertilized eggs, a male emits billows of sperm. The female deposits her eggs in the male's pouch, which extends from his abdomen back to the tail. The young will hatch while still inside his body. When they start to emerge, the male will be there to assist. Scavenging across the seafloor, the hagfish searches for prey in a world that has been dark to it for 450 million years. Their bodies are filled with holes that ooze slime. The slime appears to be a method of defense, as well as a possible means of predation. With neither jaws nor eyes, the hagfish may seem ill-suited for the modern ocean environment, but it is a survivor, in the truest sense of the word. The hagfish devour their prey from the inside out, a strategy of deadly effectiveness. Following the scent to a dead or dying victim, they enter its body through any available orifice. Once inside, they gorge upon the animal's internal organs, eventually leaving behind an empty, withered husk. Life is finally on the move. This trip can be particularly harsh, as the waves constantly pound the coast. The excursion is made about once a day, and is an extreme test of strength and endurance. Rhythmic contractions propel it along its way, as it seeks out food in the ocean's vastness. The larvae of many marine invertebrates ride the currents during relocation. By settling elsewhere, the offspring avoid competing with parents for space and food. As light returns, the night predators withdraw inside their shields. Steadily, the day crowd reemerges to reclaim the transformed reef.